for this week, it's a book off my bookshelf. Da, 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 da. All right. And so this is the International Business Etiquette book. This one in particular is for Europe. They have multiples of them for various countries. And so, or continents in this case. This is the continent of Europe. And so I love this. So when I was in grad school, one of the classes that we had was all about communication, international communication. And so if you're in business, especially right now, right? So before the pandemic, you might have thought the totality of your business was Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Charlotte, North Carolina. You thought it was by zip code. But what the pandemic has showed us is that we're global.
Absolutely.
Right? We are a global community. And so you can reach whoever you want to reach.
Right.
But you need to make sure you're understanding the regulations of the laws of the land of where you want to go. So like Christina is setting up shop in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm going to share some of the tips in here. And then, Christina, I'm going to ask you, see, I'm telling you in advance, about some of the things that you had to do along the same lines to be able to do business in the DR. And you're going to know what I mean after I share from here. Right. Okay. But I often think about part of the reason why I have this book is because when I was in grad school in my communications class, my professor gave this example about, I think it's Tiburon. Don't quote me. But there was a car company that was going into an Asian location, and they were trying to understand why the vehicle wasn't selling. And so for those of you who don't know, oftentimes cars that are made in the U.S. are not, even if they're made by a U.S. manufacturer, are not always as great a quality as cars that are shipped outside of the U.S. And in part because other countries have higher regulations about what has to be manufactured. And so it's cheaper to make cheaper cars. And also the other thing was, it used to be that cars were made to last for life, but then people wouldn't come back and buy a new car. So cars are intentionally made to deteriorate. They are no longer made with the idea in mind of, oh, let's make it last. No, that is not the theme anymore. So sad but true. But hey, if you're an entrepreneur, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so with that in mind, with my etiquette book, he was saying about the car that went to I think it was Asia or somewhere in Asiatic, and so they couldn't figure out why the car wasn't selling. Well, it turns out the name of the car in the local language meant, I forget, something crazy, something insulting. And so no one had bothered to translate to know what the name meant in that country they were going to. So they figured it out. They changed the name. Success. So it's stuff like that.